Okay, here we go. I can show them how to do it when I'm in the zone. Before we start, let me puff that indigo. If I thrust, guaranteed you gon' feel it though. My intro for this real shit. When I walked the bridge and we built it. Two hoes got the boy on kill clip. My team good and we rollin'. It ain't really hard to see that I'm fresher. I'm a F5. We ain't got time to listen your lecture. Let him put the title up and I get your bitch. Ask me, we ain't never made up. When the times got rough, we ain't never gave up. Boy, you next to the one like Morpheus. So the NLO can't fuck with us. That's real talk in this purple rain. Know some real dudes that'll bring the pain. Stay fresh, rock shades like Johnny K. So they got a bad bitch, don't song your blade. You ain't put in work, we can ask your girl. Mad cause she said I'm the best in the world. When it comes to the game, they honor me. I destroy your league, Sean Connery. That's a mere depiction what I'm clone like. Team on like a hard light. Love bad girls, that's all night. For the gang of weed and we all right. Found my inner hip money. We don't run from victory. Keep pouring off that smeared off. I've been a boss like Tommy C. We work hard. Ain't nobody that's special. We ain't gotta compromise, but to analyze. Cause they call the boy
Brock Lesnar.
bitch, my partner Dave, he dead on. When they call it smoking, I was in the zone. Take control of your destiny. Lord knows I do it for the family. That's
Yo. It's the return of the Copious review of SmackDown Live. What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back. I know it's been a while since we've done the Copious SmackDown review, but hey, I'm back into it. I'm back into the wrestling, the reviews, the WrestleMania moments, all of it. We're back at it, so we might as well go ahead and share the journey once again. Watch the entire motherfucking SmackDown tonight from start to finish. Have not done that in a very long time. So let's talk about it. I see we got Sean's V Entertainment. Hey, from one irrelevant person to another. So, all right. So we got a lot to get into tonight. We'll take some calls, questions, comments, concerns, hopes, dreams, quips, quotes, likes, loves, and so much more. Feel free to get involved. Feel free to tweet it out on the Twitter. So let's get right into it. It could be a short one tonight. Cody Rhodes kicks off SmackDown tonight live from Detroit. Tough times in the D. Not for SmackDown tonight, because I got to admit, pretty much solid show, start to finish. There wasn't a lot of lull. There was definitely some change of direction, but Cody Rhodes coming on and doing some memes. There was some stuff that I really liked tonight, but there was some stuff that I kind of not disliked, but certainly made me worry. Mainly because I don't care. I don't care if I'm alone in it. I don't care if I'm still just not convinced about Cody Rhodes. I'm not. Look, there's something about him that's always been there that I've just not fully connected with. Not fully, you know? But I thought I saw a little bit of it tonight. I don't know if it was that he's memeing his talentless wife. I'm not sure. And I love Brandy Rhodes, but my God, that woman is just a suck of entertainment, a fucking hole of entertainment. And it's just seeing him meme her, it just kind of makes me worried that maybe those brandy hooks are getting sucked in once again. It does concern me. He was also just kind of cheesy. Cody Rhodes is just a little cheesy, slightly, just a little bit. I've always felt that way about the guy. I can't help it. It's not a feeling that I can just shake. But hey, this is part of the transition. We got to see if he can carry a show, if he can overcome some of these moments where he's kind of cheesy and corny, because he's going to have it. He's a Rhodes. He's not able to control himself. It's deep down in his soul. And as much as I love Dusty, same. As much as I love Dustin, same. Just there's something cornball about that family. It's just the reality of it. That's come from me. But anyway, he gives a nice little promo talking about how it's time to move forward. And they are trying to go right into building some new matches, some new stars. And they come up with 2 different triple threat matches to kind of get a new rivalry going, which was interesting because I think as soon as they announced the 2 matches, it became pretty obvious who was going to win. I mean, Kevin Owens is always a dark horse in these type of things. But when you see LA Knight and you see AJ Styles, especially when you've already seen that there's a leak on the poster for the SmackDown in Paris coming up or something like that, it's just like, oh crap, okay. Or something in Paris, they already leaked like a poster of. AJ and Cody. And it's going to be a banging match. It's going to be awesome. We also know that AJ Styles is considering hanging it up. He's pretty much telling the world he's going to be hanging it up soon. So this is not a shock. This is not a surprise that we're going to get one more run out the guy. We're going to see one more shot at the title, one more main event match, one more phenomenal storyline. And I hope it runs well. I hope it works out. I hope this is something that kind of carries us into SummerSlam. I honestly, I would not mind seeing a long program with AJ and Cody for the next couple of months. And you can add some people into it. We have to still get there with LA Knight, and that's completely fine. They're going to give AJ back his win, it's looking like. But again, we're going to get into all of that. So we get the 2 matches, Bobby Lashley, Santos Escobar, and LA Knight in the first one. See, this is something that I've just never been a big fan of in wrestling. This whole idea of making it obvious, at least in one match. Bobby Lashley and Santos Escobar are not winning anything to put them in title contention. It's just not there. Not with LA Knight, who won his match at WrestleMania, who is still on a heater. No, it just was not happening. There was nothing that was going to make me believe that for a second. And LA Knight, of course, did win. Not a bad match, nothing wrong with it, but I don't think it necessarily helped Bobby Lashley or Santos Escobar. Like, they didn't really do too much to kind of get themselves over. And with triple threat matches, that's not always the point. I get that, but when you do 2, there's stories to be told. You got to set up some other stuff as well. I'm not sure. Timmy James, the funny man, asked, do you think Jacob will debut next week? Yeah, it's certainly possible. We're going to get to the storyline that happened on SmackDown with the Bloodline right now. So the Bloodline, they are up next after the triple threat match that LA Knight did indeed win. It was crazy. You know, Heyman came out and kind of did his thing. And then, you know, we're going to just blow past some of the promo. Solo grabs the mic and, you know, talks about consequences for winning and change and all this. And Jimmy is about to get leveled. Jimmy can see it in his fingers. He can feel it in his toes. When Solo wraps his thumb around him, it makes his esophagus swell, not grow. I couldn't finish the rap. Look, here's the reality of this. Jimmy needed to leave the Bloodline. Whether or not he's going to be like, we're going to see a very common storyline. I think Jimmy, you know, trying to get revenge on Solo and now Tama Tonga, who is debuted. I really liked the debut of Tama. I thought this was a good look for him. It makes sense. Solo trying to become the leader. It makes sense in name only that Solo's trying to become the leader. I don't understand if this was the plan for Solo, then why the fuck have you trotted him out there to lose every week for the past few months? What the hell idea was that? That's my only gripe here, guys. My only gripe. I don't have a lot of gripe, but this is the one. This is the one. Like, Solo has lost so much. And then for them to use that line of wins and losses matter to get us to that reveal was bizarre. But hey, I can accept it, especially because Jimmy will try to get revenge. They did absolutely destroy Jimmy. Seeing Tama in there was cool. And to answer the question from Timmy James, the funny man. Yeah, I think as, you know, Jimmy tries to take revenge on Solo and maybe even recruiting Jay's help at some point, I could see a little bit of a reunion of the Usos. Because I'm sorry, guys. After Jay loses to Drew McIntyre, or excuse me, to El Papi Champione, Damian Priest, the bisexual Undertaker, where you go with him? Unfortunately, I think a lot of the main storyline for main event Jay may be over. And a reunion with Jimmy always makes sense, especially when the tag team division is weak. A new version of the Usos could be something very interesting. It's their strongest version of themselves, if we're being completely honest. And it doesn't have to necessarily hinder any main event run or singles run of Jey Uso. But they're probably going to have to come together at some point to properly finish this Bloodline story. I think most people see that. It's Here's the thing. I'm with you, Jason. I do like that there's a repair story that they need to make, and it seems like this is a very good start to that. So I'm not hating on it at all. I like that he stomped on the phone. I think Tama's a fucking great second, but the big wild card is going to be Jacob Fatu. That's just the reality of it, Timmy. Jacob, if he does debut next week, they might save him for the next pay-per-view. That's very possible. But when he does, I don't know if he's going to NXT. I don't think there's really any reason for him to do so. When he does, apparently he's going to get a major push. This makes sense. If you have a new bloodline that's formed around Solo, Tama, and now fucking Jacob Fatu, there's also the chance that maybe the Usos reunite and join this new version of the bloodline. Possibly. Look, there's also this possibility too. Heyman, oh man, I'm kind of liking this idea. My brain's starting to go, because this new bloodline could in fact be led by The Rock of some kind. Maybe The Rock is actually pulling the strings of this. And one of the things that has to go, because you see that Heyman's being ruled by fear, is Heyman leaving. If Heyman leaves, well, then you got the rest of the original bloodline that could potentially come back to take on this new version of the bloodline. This could be very fucking interesting. You know, I wasn't sure if this was going to have a lot of legs, but just talking that out a little bit, this could get interesting, because Paul Heyman can go away for a few months here, or maybe get attacked or all kinds of stuff. To see them reemerge, this is a great way to immediately get Roman Reigns back into amazing graces once again. I mean, the pop for him returning will be huge, especially if they can, in fact, get Solo and this new bloodline over. It's interesting. I think this could work, though. I think there's definitely a shot. What's up, Sleeping Angels? How you doing? I actually thought tonight's show was decent. It was a very good smash. I agree, Sleeping Angels. I thought tonight was very good. Solid top to bottom. Look, this is just a difference in this new era. They're just well put together shows. They're shows that have a beginning, middle, and end. Everything makes sense. There's continuity. The shots are watchable. This is the best camera work WWE has ever done. Plain, simple game, set, match. Bucky was a problem. Sorry. Bucky was a problem, bitches. Just the reality. All right. So after the whole situation with Solo and all of them, we get essentially a debut, a new reemergence of Braun Breaker, and he's taking on Cameron Grimes, which I thought this was a smart move. It was an interesting choice because Braun could come in and have a match with anybody, but they chose somebody that he does have a little bit of history with. Not a lot of time working together, but definitely some time working together down in NXT. So it's kind of a safe landing spot. Smart move. I like this move. Don't do anything risky with the guy. Braun is a can't miss blue chip guy. This should work. You have to really fuck this up. And to that point, I thought we've kind of gotten away from this outfit. I kind of like the Braun where he's in all black and just kind of more business-like with the jeans and stuff. Maybe he's not wearing that all the time in NXT. I don't like this fucking Nickelodeon style singlet. I'm not a fan of it. It's too Steinery for me. You want the reminiscence of the Steiner brothers, but you don't want too much Steiner brothers. You don't want too much hoo. There was already a little bit of that tonight. Anytime he makes any more than a grunt, that's not phenomenal. That's not optimum. Okay. It's a little worrisome, but not major, to be fair. This is not something that you should take into consideration. This is not something that you should be freaking out about. Braun's going to be okay. I'm just saying, you gotta worry just slightly because Braun feels like he's so can't miss. So of course they'll fuck it up. Sorry, I'm still not feeling great tonight. I'm trying to get myself in order here. Ugh. Trippy Savage, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. They hate Jason. He has a lot to work to do, but he's following the greatest eras ever and one of the greatest runs ever. I agree. Scott Steiner was pretty cool for a minute. The Steiners were cool for a minute. The Steiner brothers in ring, arguably one of the greatest tag teams of all time. Top 3 to 5. You have to, in ring, seeing Rick and Scott together and the things that they were able to do. Man, I'm surprised that they're not on more people's short list, in ring especially. They lacked in other things. There was a lot of continuity problems with them at times. The tag team wrestling was so weird once the NWO came around. It was just weird. It was just weird. Everything was weird. But look, this kid he's a great combination of Scott and Rick. Hopefully more Rick than Scott. He wins a very nice match with Cameron Grimes, who I also would like to see get a little bit of momentum. I like Cameron. I think Cameron did a lot for a lot of people in NXT. I thought he helped a lot of people get over. He's a talented guy. I don't know what his role should be. I think he is probably going to have some sort of a character change of some kind. The Cameron Grimes gimmick, unless they really start getting into the vignettes and the things that he was doing down in NXT, simply is not going to work in the main roster. He's going to be lost in the shuffle. And the problem is too, he's very good. He's very good. So he could be a Horowitz very easy. And I could see, like, this match felt, now tell me if I'm wrong here, but some of my people, my OG people, 30 and up, who watch wrestling back in the day and remember some of the throwback jobber matches with, like, Barry Horowitz. You get Bret Hart taking on Barry Horowitz, Bret Hart taking on the Repo Man. You get Sergeant Slaughter coming in there and slapping around TL Hopper, those type of things. That's what this felt like. Aside from, actually, no, Cameron Grimes is kind of gimmicky, so it does actually fit. He's not Repo Man gimmicky, but he might be Man Mountain Rock gimmicky. I don't know. Fake, just stopping by Sean's View Entertainment was here. I know, right? And then he was like, I told him that he was irrelevant like I was, and he was like, I'm irrelevant? Yeah. I don't know if he was asking like a question. I'd like to think that he was stating it. I'm irrelevant. Because he is, as I am. It's okay. It's all right. It's all right, sweetheart. It's all right. Good to see you, Fakey. All righty. So Bayley is next out to the ring. And I love me some Bayley. Okay. Bayley's had an interesting journey. I mean, up to this point, Sasha Banks has had more success than she's probably earned, if I'm being honest. She's a glass cannon with an attitude problem that does a lot more cringe shit than she ever gets credit for. But she's a Mark's dream, and Tony paid her all the money in the world for some fucking reason. I'll never understand that. Does not make sense. Grimes didn't get an entrance and was squashed. That's what I'm saying, Jason. It was like he just showed up in the ring. He did a couple of moves, but it was a showcase. But that's what it felt like. It felt like he just showed up in the ring. It's not like Barry Horowitz was getting a ring entrance. I like that. I like that there was no pretense. You didn't have, like Ricochet, when he gets squashed, you don't have to give him a fucking long entrance. Just have him in the goddamn ring. When he starts winning again, you go and you put an entrance behind him. TV time. Remember when wrestling used to snap? And there is the Everly Brothers. And then they get the fucking dick slapped out of them by Legion of Doom and shit. It's just like how it goes. Yeah, that's how it read to me too. If you can tweet that and if you can clip that and just Sean's View saying he's relevant, I appreciate that. That's fantastic. Excuse me, I'm irrelevant. Oh, it's feeling weird in the wrestling world again. Tomorrow night, Toxic Pitbull and I are probably going to be doing a show. There's a very good chance of that. He could even pop in tonight. I have no idea. But we got to talk about Joe Cronin getting dragged by about going nuts, going crazy on that chick or whatever, man. I only know part of the story. All I saw, I think it was Sean Ross Sapp made a brief statement about the girl that I think her name is Danielle. That Cronin cut a promo on last night or a couple nights ago or something. The story, I watched this video of Cronin ranting on this woman, and it was really just, this is just classic Cronin in so many ways. And very funny to watch because, man, I wasn't expecting anyone to give a shit, but it seems like people do. It was funny. So we might talk about it because there was a reference made. It does look like might be a little bit of shifting in some of the wrestling community stuff. It was pretty funny. We'll talk about some of it. I got to figure out who this girl is because I don't even know who she is. So we'll talk about all that, I'm sure. But that was just funny. Just feel, it's crazy. The wrestling vibe coming back in 2016. Bam, coming back. All right. Bailey, doing her thing. Tiffy time comes out. I love that Tiffany Stratton is definitely going to be in the mix for something. She does not, spoiler, she does not win the match that she gets put in with Naomi, but it does seem now with them being 1-1, there could be a little bit of a feud, a little bit of a rivalry, and I could see Tiffy ultimately taking it. Mainly because I don't like Naomi, and I never have, and I never will. She hasn't really progressed. She has not gotten that much better to me. I mean, I respect her, but I don't care. Tiffy, man, like this woman is the shit. This woman is the future. She is ungodly talented, and she's got a great gimmick. I can really see her going incredibly far. So I was excited about that. I did find it interesting that was it. That it was just Naomi and Tiffany with Bailey out at the on the outside. I don't know if this is a way to get Bailey, get a couple title defenses under her belt. Naomi, get her some, TV time, a little bit of chance going after a belt. Maybe the same with Tiffy. I don't know, but I did expect with some of the women that they have on the roster to see a little bit more. I found that interesting that those were the two that were going to be representing in this situation. And Naomi does end up getting a win after a couple of really nice moves from Tiffy. Jackknife pinfall for the victory. But a decent match. Nothing wrong with it. We get a little vignette of Grayson Waller and Austin Theory celebrating, but we don't really get anything else from them. And then immediately after, I get my answer as to why those were the two that were representing Bailey, because we get a women's tag team match following that. Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus the tag team of Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. Now, the other night with Toxic Piplup, I went on a little bit of a rant, and I put my 2 cents into why I think Jade Cargill is being showcased and not really put out there. WWE knows, and they've been training with her, she's not fully there yet. She's not. I felt kind of weird saying it because I am a fan of hers now, and I've become a fan of hers very quickly. But I'm also very critical, and I could see the holes, I could see the gaps, and I could see why they kept her off TV for so long and why they probably could have, possibly even should have, kept her off longer. But with the star that she is and probably the money that they're paying her and the potential and the ceiling, you can't. She's not Goldberg. At least she's not that. She's definitely more talented than Goldberg. But when you watch her, now this is going to sound pretentious because look, I'm not a wrestler. I did a couple of weeks of wrestling school when I was fucking 18. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but I am a lifelong wrestling fan who has an understanding of what you're supposed to be doing. Okay. Jade Cargill has a very simple problem when I watch her. It's timing. She just needs to fix the timing. She's a step or two behind everything. It's why her kicks look a little shitty. It's why she kind of has to overcompensate and oversell when she strikes or pull back. She's just always slightly out of position. Not a lot, and it's very fucking fixable. This is a light criticism, but it's why I feel she's looking wonky. It's just not knowing where to be. She doesn't know exactly where to finish her moves. And it's funny. I kind of think of it when I watch her. It reminds me of this is a deep cut. When the first NXT, like William Shatner narrated shit was happening back on it was like the first program that was on the network. Shatner, I can't believe I remember this. Shatner narrated all these lives of NXT superstars like Noop, Aaliyah, who I think might even still be around, or maybe she finally got released. But there was another guy who was just a good looking dude. I can't really remember too much about him, but he was a good athlete. He did something. He was in there. Maybe it could have been a little bit later because I think he might have been there with Uha Nation. That's right. Apollo Crews. I think that's who he was in there with. And he did this really twirly, whirly finish after he took a shoulder bump. He spun and twirled as he fell out, and he got reamed for it in the back because he's just thinking a little too much, trying to do a little too much, over rotating, and he never worked out. But that's the closest comparable that I can actually say that might make sense of what I'm trying to say about Jade Cargill. She just needs a little bit more. It's as easy as saying experience. She's green, but it doesn't feel like that's the right word. You know what I mean? Because she's so there. Like, it's so funny that the rest of her package, her look, even the way that she talks, even though that's not fully there yet either, but everything is so wrapped into this nice bow that you want to almost overlook the wrestling aspect because you know that something special is coming with this woman. You can tell it's there. So we get them, killing Chelsea and Piper, which is fine. She just kind of does her whole thing. She gets to hit the finish. She does her sweet little fucking sexy pin, and the crowd goes wild. I was shocked a little bit, that was the route that they wanted to go, but it made sense with even my own narrative. So it shouldn't have shocked me at all because old WWE possibly just goes right in with Jade and really throws her to the wolves. This era, and we're going to get tired of hearing about the new friggin' era soon enough. Don't worry. But this era, they seem to get it. And Jade is big money. Jade Cargill is big money, massive money. So I'm okay with it. And pairing her with Bianca makes sense in a lot of ways too. For the obvious, just them because they're kind of, they're the same. Bianca and Bianca and Jade kind of feel like they were designed after each other. Like one company decided to make a variation of the other. They're very similar in athleticism and look. It's just I really like them two together, mainly because this is the best way to put them in a feud. And I like the idea of having them feud early in their career because they're both still so young. Bianca's had so much success, but she's still incredibly young. So to see Bianca and her, they're going to be able to go right up together. And I could see something like Rock and Stone Cold type chemistry out of them to where they can just be pushing each other up that ladder as not as teammates, but as rivals. Because that's what I see them becoming, rivals. Tag team for a little while, but not too long. I think once that becomes that she's graduated, I don't even think a tag team title run is necessary. I think that they can just go ahead and have something small that splits them up and allows Jade to kind of become whatever she's going to do on SmackDown. The only problem is once you do start unleashing her, you can't keep her away from that title. It's going to be very hard, even with Bayley as champion, and I like Bayley as champion, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. The night just moved quickly. It was ferocious. It was a lot of fun. And we get right into the other triple threat match, the main event of the night, which they stacked with names. It was very strange that they stacked this one with AJ Styles, Rey Mysterio, and Kevin Owens. I wonder if they did that because they wanted less intrigue, or not intrigue, less people trying to just know, because AJ's the obvious one coming off of the victory, like we already talked, or coming off the loss, rather than LA Knight. So it made a lot of sense. But Rey Mysterio and Kevin Owens, those two they also had very good WrestleManias. So it's like, definitely did not have bad WrestleManias at all. Kevin lost, granted, but his WrestleMania was still pretty sweet overall. So it's like, this was not as easy to call, but all the obvious stuff was there. But it's why you don't. So now I kind of like the first match being a little lighter because there's a juxtaposition between the two matches, which leads to a little bit better storytelling overall, I think, from a whole flow of the show. So AJ Styles does indeed get the victory after the best match of the night. Owens, Ray, and AJ really did tear the house down tonight. I think that was a fair assessment. We also got some videos out there lurking on the old interwebs of Captain Howdy possibly making a appearance. We seem to get more glitches tonight, especially during the tag team match, the women's match, Jade Cargill match. There was a glitch and possibly a couple others throughout the night. We got the dark off-camera stuff there with which everyone's assuming is Captain Howdy, is Bo Dallas. That is, man, this could be good. Bo always should have had a little bit more, and the guy is talented. He reminds he's right there with his brother. As far in a lot of ways. You got to remember something about Bo Dallas. I understand where he ended up being, but when Bo was in NXT, wasn't Bo he was one of the original champions. Like Seth and then Bo had he had a great run, didn't he? Didn't him and Neville have a thing? I'm trying to remember. Did Bo take it off Seth? Seth didn't take it, or Seth beat Bo. I'm trying to remember, but Bo had a hell of a friggin' run. Bo looked like he was gonna be the real deal. He just ended up not. So, him having another chance here, he's gonna have to be a little bit like his brother, but I really, he was anyway. He was about to be Captain Howdy anyway, so let's finish that story. WWE's all about finishing stories, so I think that's the one they really do need to finish. I'd love to hear what you guys think about SmackDown. You can go ahead and give me your ratings in the chat. You can also go ahead and jump into the Discord. We're back, okay? I'm going to be doing SmackDown reviews probably every week. You're going to get Raw reviews, I'm thinking, too. Very good chance. Maybe not that night. I'm trying to do as much as I can when it comes to all this stuff again. I'm excited to be covering the wrestling hardcore, parkour once again. I should have been live right at 10. It took me to 10:15, but that's because I didn't make the decision that I was going to do this until pretty late. So thank you guys. I appreciate you. We'll go ahead and we'll knock out maybe a Pokemon card pack. We'll take ourselves a nice big rip and we'll wait for any comments as we do that. I hope you guys enjoyed it tonight. I hope you enjoyed SmackDown. I thought it was a pretty damn good show. Again, I'd probably give SmackDown a solid, we'll do out of 5. 10 seems a bit much for a big live show like that, so we'll keep it pretty simple. A solid 3.75. I love how you say simple and then I add more things to the 3 3/4 stars. For those old enough to remember that reference. So. Promo, Iron Thorn. Do ourselves a quick pack and we'll get the flock out of here. I'm going to go to sleep. Your boy's tired. Bulls won tonight. Cubs were doing things. Oh, hey. Killer Litton. I think that's actually a fairly decent card, too. I think that's a fairly decent card. Oh, yes. I think that is a fairly decent card. Oh, yeah. All right. The only thing we got to do is rip, and we'll go ahead and do that while listening to the greatest musician in the history of theme songs. Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah. Have a little bit of Redacted on the way out. Have a good night. Keep it copious. And remember, as always, if you don't have talent, have those talented friends. Real Talk, take us to the morning light. Let's take one more rip. Let's load it up, rock it up, do it up. Yeah, gonna go ahead and do it up fast. Smoking up a bowl, and we're gonna make it last. And if you don't like it, well, you can kiss my ass. Oh, I drop things. I drop things everywhere. Why must I drop things everywhere? Oh, by the way, guys, let me show at the end of the show here if you're still been hanging around. You get some shillage while I do my final rippage. Check me out on the eBays over on, I'll give you the link for that Pawn Nation stuff. Also on Whatnot. I'm going to be doing more Pokemon openings, pool games, and things like that. Sports cards openings, lots of cool stuff. So make sure you get involved. If you're looking for any cards, video games, things, Pawn Nation, it's my shop. We're doing all kinds of cool stuff. Thank you so much. Keep it copious. Real Talk, take us home. Let's go. If you don't have talent, have talented friends. Real Talk, do the thing.
Hey man, you ain't gotta tell them that they close to me. Get cut from the vasectomy. MCs on the mic can't step to me. Got a place located where the Grammys be. Can't see the spot that I'm after. Now the streets wanna call me master. Got a click that'll bring disaster. We stamp coast like Tampa. Hell yeah, my money long. Did it right, no Armstrong. Hot chicks with beer pong. Damn right, we dead on. Hands up, bitch, everybody on the ground. I'ma stay here like a lost and found. They can't fuck up my melody. How a nigga got bars is a felony. That they can't fight that feeling. We smoke with millions, make that quadrillions. These dudes my children. They bet against the team, you gon' need the lotto. I'm trying to be a king, Anthony Soprano. We work hard, ain't nobody that's crushing. You ain't gotta compromise, better analyze, cause they call the boy the bitch. My partner Dave, he dead on. When it comes to smoking, I was in the zone. Take control of your destiny. Lord knows I do it for the family, and that's real. We work hard, ain't nobody that's crushing. You ain't gotta compromise, better analyze, cause they call the boy the bitch. My partner Dave, he dead on. When it comes to smoking, I was in the zone. Take control of your destiny. Lord knows I do it for the family, and that's real.
Real talk, I'm dead on. If you bet on me, you was dead on. My partner Dave, he dead on.
Legacy for life.